Bootcamp Buddhist, a show that brings Buddhism to your daily life in a way that you can really use. I'm your host, Warren Riley, and this week on Bootcamp Buddhist we'll be looking at what are the laws of karma and what does it mean for me. So let's get on with it. Before we look at the laws of karma, first of all have to look at how do we define what we mean by karma. Karma is one of those words that has become practically English. It's in our daily vocabulary, so of course everyone has an idea about karma and what it means. Mostly this comes down to when I get something good, yeah, it's my karma. When I get something bad, that's just bad luck. So then when somebody else, maybe somebody I don't like, gets something good, go figure. But when somebody else, perhaps that I don't like, gets something bad, that's their karma. And when they get something good, it's like, what the? So here's a more useful and perhaps correct definition of karma. Karma is an action of body, speech or mind. So any action, whether it's performed by you physically, as in using your body or speech, or mentally thinking about something, is a karma. The other thing I think we have to mention is what a karmic seed is, because this will help us discuss the laws of karma in a way that's easy to understand. Basically, when you perform a karma, an action of body, speech or mind, you see yourself do it. And this creates a mental record or a mental seed that's planted in your mental stream. It's this seed that grows into a karmic result in the future. And that's basically what a karmic seed is. So what we've said so far is simply, karma is an action of body, speech or mind. And a karmic seed is the record of that, which is planted in our mental stream for later recall as a karmic result, sometime in our future. This is the point where I stop flopping about and tell you what the actual laws of karma is, right? Okay. There are 4 laws. So the first law is actions are certain to produce similar results. Second, the consequences are greater than the actions. Third, one cannot meet a consequence if he or she hasn't committed an action. And fourth, once a cause is committed, the consequence cannot be lost. Okay, first law is actions are certain to produce results that are similar. Okay, obvious meaning of this point is don't plant an acorn and expect to get an orange tree. Acorns bring oak trees, it's simple. How the hell does that apply to me and make a difference in my life? You probably live in an apartment and don't even have room for either type of tree, yeah? So, let's say you want the karma for a car, and particularly a car that doesn't break down very often. How about you try making travelling easier for someone else? Essentially, the law is saying having the money to fix the car doesn't guarantee it won't break down. But helping somebody else have ease of travel guarantees you will have ease of travel. So we know that, for example, people have driven cars straight off the forecourt of the dealership and had them break down almost immediately within the first few miles. Something that shouldn't really happen, right? But it does. If that person had the karma to make ease of travel, they'd have been helping other people have ease of travel. If they have money to buy a car, well, that's not the karmic cause, so the car can still break down. Acorns bring oak trees. Simple. Second law, the consequences are greater than the actions. Now, back to the acorn and the oak tree. How big is an acorn? It's like, not that big really. So then we think about how big is an oak tree? Well, I was going to bring one in, but apparently it would have made a mess. So we're just going to have to take it from a web search I did. Apparently, according to the interweb, an oak tree can grow to between 45 and 70 feet with a 45-foot spread. That's pretty big. In fact, that's really big. So karmic seeds are like that, in the sense that they're a seed that are planted and the result is way bigger than the original seed that's planted. And it depends on how long it's in your mind and how well it was planted in the first place. That's going to be an entire other show where we talk about how to plant a seed properly, how to help it ripen strongly, and perhaps how to even make it ripen quickly, because sometimes we need to see results to see if something is really working for us. But for now, that's the second law of karma. The consequences are greater than the actions. The third law of karma. One cannot meet a consequence if he or she did not make an action. Basically, don't do the crime, you don't do the time. But equally, you don't make the wise investment, you don't get the big payoff. Yes, I know this can suck at times. It's no longer your boss's fault, okay? But it does mean that you're now firmly in the driving seat. It means that if you take an active role in your karmic seed management, you can decide how things really are. So, on to the fourth law. Once a cause is committed, the consequence cannot be lost. That's right. You can run, but you can't hide. You can perhaps mitigate or lessen the effects of a bad karma and strengthen the effects of a good karma, but essentially karma ripens. We'll talk about how to mitigate and how to increase karma in future episodes of the video show, but for now you just have to know that once a cause is committed, the result cannot be lost. So, for example, if you have the karma for it to rain on your parade, you can move the parade to Hawaii. Guess what? The weatherman is going to tell you it's not time for a hula skirt, it's time for an umbrella in Hawaii. But if you have the karma for a great parade, people will be forced to come see your parade, enjoy the parade, regardless of how bad the weather is. And that's your karma. Okay, now for the big recap. Actions are certain to produce similar results. The consequences are greater than the actions. One cannot meet a consequence if he or she has not committed an action. Once a cause is committed, the consequence cannot be lost. Now, when I started to think about this stuff first, more questions came up than answers. And I'm sure it's no different for most of us. But keep coming back, and bit by bit I'll try to help you build your knowledge. And in future shows we'll look at related topics and ask some other Buddhist practitioners and experts from around the world for help with some answers. For now, I'd love to hear what you thought of the first show. You can post your comments right here on YouTube down below, or follow the show on Twitter at Bootcamp Buddhist. Also, please ask your own questions about this or any other Buddhist or life topic, and I'll try to get some answers for you. You can post video reply or comment here or on Twitter at Bootcamp Buddhist, or you can check out the blog www.bootcampbuddhist.com and subscribe to the channel right now. And until next week, that's bye for now from Bootcamp Buddhist.